North Bulldogs gave a terrific effort against the Lovejoy Leopards on Friday, and they nearly came up with the upset win, just couldn't get it done in the end. I'm joined with head coach Mike Fecci. Coach, disappointed obviously that you're playing such a strong team, gave one of your best efforts of the season, couldn't come away with the win, but have to be proud of your kids'
Yeah, very
effort.
proud, very proud. I thought we played really, really hard all night long, all the way up to the very end. And if we can just keep doing that kind of stuff, we feel good about where we are. We got a huge game this week. We'll have to go out and maximize that same effort we had last week and shore up a few things and try to go after it. But all in all, I was very, very proud of our guys.
Many highlights to get to, so we'll go ahead and show some of them. At the beginning of the game, Lovejoy is going to score early on after you guys kind of drove in and Ducey threw a pick and they were able to capitalize.
Yeah, early on we played great. James Triplett makes a big play right there. Marcus Nobles, this was a big third down conversion. He breaks a tackle, gets us a first down. We did. We played really hard early, but, like you say, that turnover by us in our own end set up a score for them and they got them on the board.
Talk about Lovejoy's quarterback, Bowman Sells. He's a tough guy to play against, a good quarterback, and he hurt you with the big play a couple times.
He did. They had a couple guys that were running, kind of wide open kind of things, and they were a little bit of a coverage bust. We had two of them, and that kid did a good job of finding them and converting on it.
Defensively, you hung with Lovejoy all night long. They're a team that's used to putting up 40, even 50 points in some games. You hold them at the end of this game to only 24, and a big reason was because of the play of your secondary.
Yeah, our secondary did a great job, and we talked all week long about the importance of keeping up with their tempo, and I thought we did a really good job of that. I never felt like we weren't ready to go. We were always lined up. We always knew the call, and then our offense did a good job of doing what they were supposed to do, and that was control the line of scrimmage. Our goal was to run more plays than they ran, and we did. We ran 77 offensive plays. They ran 56. And so anytime you can do that, against an offense like that, it helps you.
Ronald Jones with the touchdown run there of 13 yards. Justin Jones went for over 100 yards last week. Right. Ronald Jones this time goes for over 100 yards.
Yeah, those two are a nice compliment to have back there. I think Justin carried the ball 18 times Friday night. Ronald carrying it 15 times. It's nice when you have two different guys back there that you can both give carries to. They're both different style runners. They both do things differently really well. I'm glad to see that both of those guys are progressing like they are.
It was 7-7 with 3 minutes left to go in the second quarter, and they are able to kind of separate themselves before halftime. They get on their first play of their next drive a 75-yard touchdown pass and then a field goal at the end of the half.
Yeah, they got the field goal at the end of the half, to put them up 17-7 going into the half. I thought we did a good job coming out in the second half and answered. They had the ball to start the half. We answered, got them a 3-and-out, got the ball back, and kind of stalemated right there in the third quarter. And then, like I say, we played hard. We did some really good things. We're getting better, and we got a chance to still get in the playoffs, and that's what we're excited about.
You forced Lovejoy into a punt that only goes 13 yards towards the end of the third quarter. Get a short field position. You're able to get a 40-yard field goal from Willis Shun out of it.
Yeah, Will did a good job coming in there and banging that field goal through. We did some good things in the special teams. We punted the ball fairly well, and we had some good kickoffs and things like that. We did some good stuff. This is a ball late in the game. We're down by 2 scores. We're in 2-minute drill here, and Brandon Bladel takes it down there. And then I believe right here, Ducey's going to connect with Gabe Constantine to put us down by 7 right here. And then after this, we onside kick it. We don't get it, but we stop them, get the ball back, and have a chance. We just had a long way to go with no timeouts. But all in all, we fought to the very end.
Ducey putting the ball exactly where it needed to be on that touchdown pass at Constantine. You explained the end of the game, Coach. You had the ball with some time left, but you're deep in your own territory, not able to get the big plays downfield to try and set up a touchdown at the end of the game. But overall, your offense, you were able to control the ball, ran 21 more plays than Lovejoy did.
Yeah, we did. That was a game plan going in. It's a team effort. And we meet as a staff every weekend and talk about what do we have to do to win this game. And we sat there last Saturday and said, one of the things we got to do is we got to run more plays than them. We have to keep the ball away from them. And we did that. And when you can do that kind of stuff, it allows your defense to stay fresh. Against that type of offense, that's critical, where kids can just go play because of the tempo. And like I say, they're very up-tempo in what they do, and we handled that pretty well. It just didn't work out for us on the scoreboard end, but all in all, I was very proud of how we played.
You know, we already talked about Justin Jones and Ronald Jones. Another player that really stepped up was Evan Jones in this game. 6 catches for 48 yards.
Yeah, Evan had a nice game. You know, Evan played a whole lot of snaps. He played every snap on defense and a vast majority of them on offense. You know, he's our deep snapper on punt. You know, he's on a whole bunch of things for us. You know, Evan's a good football player, and, you know, he's going to have to continue to play that way for us these next couple weeks to give us a chance to play Week 11.
Talk about these players that you have on your team that play both ways, offense and defense. What is their stamina like in these games, and what do you do to prepare them for playing a full 60 minutes?
Right. I think it's something, their stamina is pretty good. Mark Bresnahan and Evan Jones are two in particular that play quite a bit both ways. Their stamina is getting there. It's getting better. They still get really tired, but at the same time, it's because they're playing in a large number of snaps, and they've been doing that all year. So each week that they do it, it gets a little easier for them. You know, and they're going to have to continue to do that for us. You know, every play on defense, and on offense they play kind of the same position, so they're able to kind of rotate a little bit there. But you know, it's tough. It's tough to play both ways, especially when you're playing against a team that doesn't do that. Lovejoy's got a 1 or 2 that play both ways like us. Wylie doesn't have hardly any that play both ways. You know, as you look at over our schedule, you know, there's a lot of teams in our district that play kids both ways. And, you know, those two guys are stepping up and doing a good job.
I said 60 minutes at first. It is 48 minutes in high school, so not quite as long to play both ways.
Sure.
But you mentioned you have a big game this week against Wylie. They're 1-2 in the district as well. Just got their first win of the season, a dominant win against Greenville. But they've played some really tough teams in their games leading up to this one.
They have. You know, they're a lot like us. They played a really, really tough non-district schedule with Mesquite, Poteet, West Mesquite, and Saxe. You know, and went to overtime in a couple of those and lost them. You know, they got their first win of the year last week. So we anticipate them. They're going to come into Ron Poe Friday night, feeling good about themselves, knowing the importance of this game. You know, it's one that's kind of been circled on both our schedules for quite a while because we both understand the importance of it. It's going to be fun. You know, I think they're going to come in with. You know, we were able to knock them out last year, Week 10, and take the final playoff spot over them because of that. So, you know, they're going to come in ready to go. They're a good football team. They're coached well. They play hard. You know, it's going to be a big challenge for us, but I think it's one our kids are ready to accept.
Yeah, it's not Week 10, but it could be a similar scenario. I think your team and Wylie are the favorites to possibly get that fourth and final playoff spot.
Right.
They have a good receiver, Kalen Winkler. Had a lot of catches, 36 receptions this year. The favorite target of Carson Cook. What does he do that's so dangerous?
He's just a great route runner. He's a quick kid. He's fast. He's a great route runner. He's got great hands. He's a really good athlete. He can play a lot of different spots for them and be effective. You know, they traditionally leave him more at that inside slot, and he catches a lot of balls. You know, they're a good offense. They're big up front. That quarterback is a sophomore, but he plays older than that. You know, he's a competitive kid, and they're a big challenge.
This district is just so congested right now in the middle. You have 4 teams that are 1-2. Lovejoy and Sherman are the ones sitting pretty at 3-0 in the district. What is it about this particular district that makes it so challenging?
You know, I think it's just that they all have really good coaches, and they all have kids. You know, you look at, you've combined 2 districts from last year into one theoretically, and you got a lot of teams that are used to being in the playoffs. You know, Roy City's been in the playoffs in the past. Sherman, obviously. Denison, you know, in the last couple of years hasn't been as good, but now they're back with a new head coach, and it's just a new attitude. Lovejoy coming up out of 3A, been in the playoffs every year their school's been in existence. It's just a big logjam right there in the middle. With a lot of football left to be played. You know, nobody's secured a spot yet. Obviously, Sherman and Lovejoy are sitting in the driver's seat at 3-0. But they still have, you know, especially Lovejoy still have 4 people left to play that could beat them if they don't play well. It's just an every week type battle. This is a huge one for us this week. It's really big for our kids. We're preparing for it like it's a playoff game, you know, in the mindset of we got to go win this one. And I think our kids will come out and answer that.
Your returning starters have been there before as far as, you know, the latter games in district stage to get your team to the playoffs last year. How's that experience from accomplishing that feat last year going to transition this year into this Wylie game and the rest of the way?
Right. I think it's huge, and I talked about that on Saturday with them. You know, we got a lot of guys that this is new to them, and we got a lot of guys that were part of what we did last year. And I said, if you're new to this, you got to look at these other guys because we've got to really up our level right here. It's time to go make the push. It's time to go make the move. It's time to go separate ourselves from everybody else, and it starts this week. We got to do it this week. We got to go out and every single day, starting today, we have to have great practices with great tempo and great retention so we can build on each day leading up to Friday and walk into Friday feeling good about what we're doing.
Well, Coach, your team really showed up and played a fantastic game against Lovejoy. If you put out the same sort of effort against Wylie, sure you're going to be able to come up with the win. It's going to be another great game Friday night for the home fans at Ron Post Stadium against Wylie. Lots of playoff implications on the line, and it should be a playoff-like atmosphere.